Okay, welcome back. It is time to test out our next Kickin 5.56 bullet. And today's candidate is the 70gr Hornady GMX. Let's have an up close look at this guy. It is an all copper bullet, hollow point, that looks pretty darn mean. They actually look really nice. Really nice looking bullet. If we look here on the package, it shows what it's supposed to expand like. So it looks like huge weight retention, should do a good job, and at 70 grains should be taking a whole lot of power down range. So this is the bullet that won our last poll as to what you wanted to see next. So this is the bullet we're going to test today. The powder that won was good old Hodgdon Varget. It doesn't get much more common and popular than Hodgdon Varget. So that's what we're going to check, or that's what we're going to test with. I'm switching things up with brass. One of the earlier videos, somebody had asked whether 223 brass would be okay. I was using Lake City 5.56 brass, but they were asking whether 223 brass would do okay, and absolutely it will. So that's what we've switched over to. This is some PMC. These are PMC range pickups. It doesn't get much more common than that. I have already prepped these guys. Went ahead and, resized them, tumbled them, resized them, trimmed them, chamfered and deburred the case mouths, and primed them. And we're also switching primers. We were shooting, what were we shooting? Yeah, the last couple of videos we were shooting these guys, the Federal AR small rifle match primers. Today we are switching over to the CCI number 41 primers. I figure every couple videos we'll just switch it up and try some different primers. Should work just great. One thing I found interesting about this this PMC brass, this is all, it's all head stamp 223, but I had some that were crimped, that had primer crimps. I think I got a quick video of that I'll show you here, and it was like a really good crimp too. They were a bit of a pain in the butt to get off. I don't know if the blade on my crimp remover is getting removed, or if this is just especially hard brass or something, but yeah, they seem to take a little bit of work to get those crimps off there, but wasn't really a big deal. I had about 200 pieces, and about 35 or so were crimped. So I mean, I'm sure that'll depend on your source of PMC brass, as to whether you'll see crimped ones or not. But if you're just picking up random stuff at the range, watch out for a crimp. And they're nice and obvious, as you saw there in the video, when they are crimped. Nice little ring around the primer there. I use the RCBS military crimp remover, the small, of course, for 223, and it does a pretty good job. A lot of people like to swage. That's a whole other discussion, which we've covered in several other videos here on the channel. But just be aware, if you've got PMC brass, or any brass, if you're sorting your 223 brass, just keep an eye out for crimped primers and take care of them if you need to. This is going to be very easy as far as load data goes. The good old Hornady manual. You guys see this manual more than any other manual on this channel. I shoot a lot of Hornady bullets, and this manual just freaking seems to kick butt. It's got the powders I like to shoot. So right here we have got 70gr Hornady GMX. This is in their 5.56 section. They've also got a 223 Remington service rifle data section that also has it. In this section, they shoot a 2.235 overall length. And in the 5.56 section, they shoot 2.250. So, yeah, we're going to shoot out towards magazine length. We're going to go by the 5.56 data because it's 2.250. Right, standard magazines, you can usually stretch it out to about 2.260. So this is about 10 thousandths short of magazine length. But they've got quite a few powders here that they tested with this bullet. And right there is Varget. It didn't really get up to the high velocities. They only got it up to 2,800 feet per second, and some of the others did a little bit faster. And I think it's just, we'll find that it's a matter of running out of case capacity. These large copper bullets, seat so far down into the case that you run out of case capacity. I think that's what we're going to find here with Varget, is our max charge is going to be up there starting to compress, and there's just not a whole lot more room for more powder, because the one they got the most velocity out of, CFE 223, is a much finer powder, takes up a lot less volume, so I think they were just able to cram more in there. But Varget should do a good job. They show 23 to 24.1 grains. Their test gun, if we look back here a little bit, is a 20-inch Bushmaster. So 20-inch 1-in-7 twist. We're shooting a 16-inch. We're going to shoot my my Colt LE 6920. So that's a 16-inch. So I want to cheat above their max just a touch. If we can get the powder in there, if it's not compressing like absolute crazy, we're going to go just a smidgen above it, 24.3 grains. So 0.2 of a grain above there. So my plan is to shoot, I'll start off at 23.1, which is 1/10 above their starting charge. And we'll go in 0.3 increments up to 24.3. 25 rounds, five shot groups of each. So that should be a good little start. Get us an idea of what's going on here and how Varget's going to shoot with these guys. We'll see how things go. I mean, that may be it. Maybe we'll shoot these 25. It'll shoot well, and that'll be good enough. Maybe we'll move on to a different powder or something. But if it, if we need to come back, load up some more rounds, we'll do that. But first things first, let's get these 25 test charges loaded up, and then we'll be able to get to the range. I covered everything, right? Brasses, PMC, Varget, there, yep. Good to go. All right, in case you're not familiar with Varget, that's what it looks like. It's an extruded powder. It's got the, the little sticks. So it doesn't run all that awesome through a powder measure if that's something you're super sensitive about, or you're running a progressive and hate extruded powders, then you probably already know that Varget might not be for you. I love Varget. It runs pretty well, and it runs pretty well through my RCBS Uniflow powder measure. Don't really have any problems. You just get a few hangups every once in a while, like you do with extruded powders. So no big deal. All right, so we are hand weighing every charge here, starting out with 23.1 grains. I like to use a 1.6 cc Lee scoop here. Gets me about 22.8. And we just trickle up to 23.1. Okay, our first 5 charges are weighed. The case fill, I mean, it's a little bit below the shoulder, so plenty of room there. Yep, no big deal. I need dies. Okay, we got a Redding seating die, so let's start getting this guy adjusted. See how these guys seat. Not too bad. Didn't feel weird. I'm about a mile long, which is good. .250 was our target, right? Yep, 2.33, so we're still way long. Thought I heard a little bit of crunchiness, and I'm not really. Man, if there's any shaking left in there, it's not much. We'll look at the seating depth here in just a second. 2.282. These big copper bullets just go a long way down in there. 2.266, so 15 thousandths. 2.258, 8 more thousandths. I'll just go ahead and lock it down there. That'll probably be good enough. If we're a thousandths too long or too short, then that's fine. 2.251, I'm going to call that good. Let's move on to the next one and see if we get a similar number. .249. .251. Good deal. Yep, definitely hearing a little bit of Rice crispiness going on there at the bottom. .254. 2.249. So a couple thousandths. Should be good. Let's look at how deep these guys sit down in there. So I guess I could just. Yep, pretty deep. They protrude below the shoulder quite a bit. So, yep, these guys are going to get crunchy as we keep going, but that's no big deal. That's not something we're going to worry about. I do have a Leaf Factory crimp die here. Just want to put a light little squeeze on them. And that feels like it's set a little bit too heavy. That's too light. Way too light. Maybe just a smidgen more. There we go. Yeah, the way these seated, that top groove is kind of like a candelure. I don't know where in the world all my freaking 223 ammo boxes have gone. I need to run down an ammo box. Found one. Alright, so now I need to go ahead and weigh out 20 our other 20 charges. Get those bullets seated. I won't subject you to the whole process unless if something interesting comes up, I'll let you know. But I expect 20 more rounds of the same here. So I'm down to seating these last few bullets. Yep, nothing exciting has happened. I did have to chase the seating die down just a little bit as this got a little bit more compressed. I think we definitely have probably run out of case capacity here. Really crunching pretty hard during seating. Tell you what, I'll see if I can get you some audio here. Nothing to worry about, just a definite sign that we're getting to the limits. I'm hoping it'll make for some accurate ammo. Right there at 100% case capacity, generally get you some accuracy. So I think that's it. Let's go out and see how they shoot. All right, guys, let's get started. Man, the wind is all over the place. I've been trying to hold off on coming out here until the wind died down. It's just very gusty. So I think if I'm patient, I'll be okay. Yeah, so it just gusts through like crazy and then settles down for a few minutes. So I just got to be patient. Our first load is 23.1 grains of Varget. So let's see what it will do. Starting with the top left-hand dot, our target is at 100 yards. I got a feeling we're going to shoot some good groups. See if I can get you guys a view of the chronograph there. We're probably going to top out. The Hornady manual said it topped out around 2,800. We may not even get there because, they were shooting a 20-inch barrel and we're on a 16-inch, but we'll just see how it goes. Way off to the right. I may have to move the scope after this group. Should probably check our brass. Brass is definitely okay, but the primers are flatter than I expected them to be. And one of them kind of even has a little ghost ring of a extractor mark there. Or ejector mark, I'm sorry. But yeah, nothing crazy. But interesting. We'll see, we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, so that's certainly not the most outstanding group we've ever seen. We'll blame it on the cold bore and keep going. I am going to move left 2 minutes. Yep, see if that brings us in. Okay, 23.4 grains is next. Man, that is just gross. Have I got something loose? Scope's nice and tight. Man, those are just bad groups. All right, let's move on to 23.7. All right, things are not getting better. I'll let you in on a little secret though. I've got some extra rounds loaded up here. I'm doing a second video on these guys with CFE 223. I was so impressed by the velocity they were showing in the Hornady manual. I had to load some up. So kind of made a last minute decision to go ahead and just shoot a second video with CFE 223. So even if this continues to look like donkey butt, then not all hope is lost. We've still got some CFE 223 to try out. Yeah, the suppressor's good and tight. Scope's good and tight. I don't know what the heck. These groups are just gross. All right, moving on to 24 grains. The brass continues to look okay. It actually looks about the same. It's kind of that in between where you can tell like it was a hot load and you know there's some pressure there, but it's not anything bad, if that makes any sense. Yep, just more of the same. Okay, last but not least, 24.3. Not looking good. Well, the last group was the best group. Huh. Interesting. Overall, still a little bit disappointed. So let's get wrapped up here, get back to the bench, have a look at the groups. I normally shoot one of these guys through a milk jug to see how they expand. I'm going to go ahead and do that in the next video. So if you want to see how these guys expand, just check out the CFE 223 video. I don't want to do it twice, so sorry about that. All right, let's get to the bench. All right, so this is going to be a very quick evaluation. It's all crap. It's all crap. Velocity, we never got to 2,700 feet per second. Not a huge deal. You know, if the shot lights out, you might be able to forgive something like that, but it also shot like garbage. Our best group was the last one at 1.68 inches, but 2, 3.5, 3, 2, yeah, not good enough. Not quite good enough. And this hacks me off, man. I wanted this bullet to shoot well. I'm always pulling for Hornady, right? Their bullets are affordable. But man, dang it. Crap. This sucks. I'm not necessarily ready to write off the bullet yet, of course. You know, like I mentioned, I'm in the process of a CFE 223 test with this bullet as well. That video will probably be up a day after this one, so keep your eye out for that. And, you know, depending on the outcome of that guy, we may try more powders. You know, we may try playing around a little bit because, man, I'd just like to see this bullet shoot well. And if you guys watching it, if this is your bullet of choice, let me know. You know, what powder do you shoot with it? What's your barrel twist rate? What's your overall length? You know, something like that. I would appreciate it. Another thing, in the manual, I was looking, you know, they do have little notes about their testing, and let's see, where was it? It wasn't in this part. It was in the service rifle. They were talking about how Vitavori N140 gave them their very best results. So, by God, I've got a pound of N140. You know, if we need to test it with some N140, we'll do that. But was there anything else to talk about here? I really don't think so. It's just not much to consider when it's all crap. One, I guess, semi-weird thing, you know, 5 shots is not always enough to really get a good picture of velocity, but it was weird that we did lose. We went from 26.79 down to 26.73 here in this last. It was getting super duper crunchy. And the big extruded powders like this, you get to crunching them, and those, you know, those sticks of powder are cracking, and I think it can really do some weird stuff. So that might have been part of that. That's about it. I think I'm going to wrap this up. Seemed like there was something important I wanted to tell you. Yeah, the brass, I could give you a look at the brass, but it all looks fine. Like, it all looks completely and totally okay. Nothing really to see. So, I'll see you guys next time with the CFE 223 video. And following that, I'll probably switch back to the 65 grain Sierra Game King, because I need to work up a hunting load. I'm planning to take a deer with 223 here in the next couple weeks. So I really need to get on that, get that load worked up, and then I'm going to be taking it in the woods and deer hunting with it on my second channel. So looking forward to that. So that'll probably be after the CFE 223 load, as we'll circle back around to the Game Kings and see what we can work up with those. So see you guys next time.